I think that you will get something from this town especially, doing a jazz thing from this is a hard, jazz has had to survive here. And because of this being a tough place for jazz to survive, then I think you're going to be able to really feel and find how jazz is.
I got papers on you, baby, you better do what I say. I got papers on you, baby, you better do what I say. Do everything I tell you and it's gonna be okay. I got papers on you, baby, I mean in black and white. I got papers on you, baby, I mean it in black and white. Do just what I tell you, everything is gonna be alright. The red light means stop, the green light means go. I'm gonna tell you just once, I ain't gonna tell you no more. I got papers on you, baby. You better do what I say. Do what I tell you, darling, and everything's gonna be okay. Yeah.
I think the trouble with most people when they think about jazz and jazz men is they have a cliche. I think they have a cliche knowledge of what has been shoved down their throats of what jazz people and jazz men are. And it isn't that way at all.
Yeah, it's very different.
Very different. We have a different aim in comparison, I think, with most jazz groups. We feel that there are many facets of jazz. I mean, everybody is aware that there are many facets of jazz, but the aim of our group is to be able to play in many different feelings of jazz. If we are doing a heavy, deep-colored blues or a work song, then we would like to do it and feel comfortable because we have the knowledge of how to do it and how to feel it. If we're doing some free form, where we just allow ourselves the freedom of doing anything we want to, then we would like to be able to do that too. There are many other things in jazz we're trying to strive for, a freedom in jazz. We're trying to strive, especially vocal freedom is something I want to try and get. We want to break out of that restriction. Sometimes when I want to sing a certain line, I have to change the words, and I have to change the words on the spot. I have to change the words right away because I have just thought of a phrase that I've never sung before. Whether you even want to take a piece of Bach and use it, there's a very pretty tree. For instance, Lenny found a piece of Bach that we could take as a slow jazz ballad and enjoy. And so he wants me to write some words to it, which I will. Just a new thing. We'll take it and we will tell the people that is Bach. We won't try to shade it or anything.
It's good.
There's 5 parts, and that was 3 of the 5 parts. There was 2.
Which one of the other ones? One of the other parts?
There was 2.5.
Oh yeah, but then there's another part that goes da 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 da. Da. See, it goes da 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 da. Right, the vamp little thing. Da 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 da. Now here's the best part. Da da da. Here's the best part. Da 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 da. No, da 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 da. Da 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 da. No.
We just played that.
That's the part we just did. Right?
No. Here's the part. You know that part? No, I'm a little bit mixed up.
This part is actually up, man.
It's Friday, September the 17th, the year 2004, and you're listening to CHRY 105.5. We're coming to you live from the Student Centre, York University, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Name of our show is Some Experiences in Jazz, and I'm Rob Fogle. With you again until midnight. We have a full evening tonight, as usual. Got a wonderful interview coming up at about 9:15, and I think you'll really enjoy hearing from the amazing Don Francks with a new unearthed CD we'll tell you more about shortly. I receive an email regularly from a group called Jazz Promo Services, and I guess a couple of weeks ago, a very interesting email came in about a newly released or about to be released album of some music that I know firsthand. I wasn't at this particular concert, but I did hear this group on several occasions. And we're talking about guitarist Lenny Breau, vocalist Don Francks, and bassist Eon Henstridge. most famous recording that came out with this group was at the Village Vanguard from 1965, but they played around Toronto for a number of years, and this is an album that has just been unearthed. Lenny Breau's longtime manager found this in his collection of music and brought it to the attention of Art of Life Records. The gentleman is Paul Kohler, who is the president of Art of Life Records. And with the help of Ron Forbes Roberts, who is the author of a forthcoming biography of Lenny Breau, one long tune, The Life and Music of Lenny Breau, we have 10 tracks of previously unreleased music from the Purple Onion in Toronto, August of 1962. You will be able to purchase this over the web. Hopefully it will be in the store soon, because the first album by the company Art of Life, the Hallmark Sessions of Lenny Breau, came out, I guess, about a year or so ago, and it's wonderful music, again, newly released, and anything by Lenny is a treasure. And Don Francks has been very under-recorded over the years, so it's an added bonus.
We are speaking to the one and only Don Francks. And there's nobody like Don Francks. Wasn't that an album title?
Yeah, I guess that's what Jackie Gleason thought anyway.
Uh-huh.
Because Lenny Breau and myself and Eon Henstridge had a chance to play his television show in New York, and then the offspring of that was a CD on Cap Records.
Right. Well, pre-CD, it was an LP even, way back.
That's right.
That was at the...
Actually, it'll never be a CD, come to think of it, unless somebody goes down into the vaults and digs it up.
No, that was at the Village Vanguard.
That's right.
Yeah, I still play it.
Oh, I know you do. Wonderful.
Well, what we're speaking about today is a newly unearthed CD, which was live at the beautiful Purple Onion on Avenue Road. How did this come about?
It was very quick. Before I knew it, I was introduced to Lenny Breau, and because he was in town.
Uh-huh.
And somebody said, you should really come and see this guy, and I had a chance to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
And we hit it off right away.
Right.
Before we knew it, somebody, I don't know whether it was his manager, but somebody said, you gotta have a show at the Purple Onion on Avenue Road, right in the Yorkville area. So we did. There was no rehearsal whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, well, I'll get a bass player, and of course my favorite bass player at that time was someone called Eon Henstridge.
Mm-hmm.
And I had played with Ian before.
Right.
And so here we go. We started that evening absolutely free and clear of any kind of knowledge of anything, except that we knew that we loved music and that we were going to have a good time with jazz, and we were going to also find that Lenny had played with a man by the name of Joey Hollingsworth before, and Joey Hollingsworth was also called over because he was managed by Lenny's manager, George Sikornik. So here comes a wonderful hoofer, in other words, a tap dancer.
Yeah.
And he is still, to this day, brilliant and teaching and still going overseas, meaning both the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. He's wonderful.
Is he based in Toronto still?
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
And he sings so well, too.
Yeah, he's singing on the album.
Yes, he is.
So most of the album was kind of impromptu, I see, by the composers.
Most of it was impromptu, and we didn't even have what you call a set list.
Uh-huh.
Meaning no one knew what tunes we were doing. The only person that did, and that's evident when you listen to the CD, is Joey Hollingsworth.
Oh.
Because his stuff is always everything must be done just like that. He's a perfectionist.
Right. And you composed some great songs on the spot. One, a new electric chair.
Well, some of those are songs, and some of them were my usual
banter.
My usual banter and ranters and ranting.
The newspaper song. A Gentile Sings the Blues. Gum Addiction.
Oh dear, yeah.
No, it really is an interesting album. I mean, it's nice to have anything of you out, and again, when something of Lenny is unearthed, I mean, this is another find. Did any recordings exist from the Castle George when you were there with Lenny?
I had forgotten we were even there together.
That's where I saw you.
Is that right?
Yeah, upstairs at George's Spaghetti House.
Oh, yes, that's right.
You were there for several months, I think, with Lenny.
Yes, I think...
That's got to be the early 60s, mid-60s, something like that.
Yeah, it would have been the early 60s.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that. Quite a few people lined up to get in to see that.
I saw you there, and you were into some of your Indian stuff at that time also, and...
well, maybe that was the late 60s.
Well, Lenny was with you.
Yeah, and I think I had found a new bass player that had come from Alberta by the name of Dave Young.
Oh, really? Wonder where he is today.
In all his brilliance.
Yes.
And all his wonderfulness.
I didn't realize that he was with you that early.
He wasn't with us. What we did was Lenny and I had a chance to do a show because we were in town together. We had a chance to do a show at George's Spaghetti House.
Right.
And we needed a bass player, and someone said there's a wonderful bass player that's just come from
Winnipeg.
From Alberta, from Edmonton, I think.
Oh.
Is where he's from, I think.
Now,
so we got him.
Uh-huh.
It was a really wonderful get-together.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody recorded it.
Now, your trio with Ian and Lenny was given the original name of... Three.
Yeah, which on the liner notes I noticed they kept spelling with a capital letter, and it was always spelled in lowercase.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Who gave that brilliant title to the...
Well, I did. I thought that it was deservative of what the band meant. The group, the trio, was three people, and all of us, I felt, were equal in brilliance.
Right.
Because it was not as good without all of us together, if you understand.
Sure.
We could be a duo, and we could also be solo, and that's something that we did.
Right.
While we were on stage, Ian would play bass. I remember him being able to play Stella by Starlight and just knock everybody right out. He played it alone. And Lenny, of course, would play because of his versatility, would play some non-jazz flamenco, because we just loved music. But our basic thing was jazz, and then of course there was myself who would do things. I would do things by myself too without them.
Right. Now, what happened to Ian?
Ian, the last would been, goodness gracious, dear me, I think it was. Well, he wasn't there for when I got together with Lenny in 68 or 69 when I got together with Lenny.
Was he from Toronto originally?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Eon was, and I think he committed suicide.
Oh.
So both of them went much too early and went in ways that we don't like. We don't like suicide. We certainly don't like murder.
No. Well, Lenny's, of course, has been made into a documentary, and you are interviewed during that documentary, and It's quite an amazing story.
Well, I think that once we get Ron, what's his name?
Collier?
No, Ron Forbes Roberts, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice that on the liner notes of that CD.
Oh, right, okay.
And he is bringing out what we are all going to find, those of us that are interested, not just in jazz, but in Lenny Breau, too.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find that his biography of Lenny will be the definitive work.
Oh.
And that should be out probably within a year.
Oh, that'll be quite fascinating.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think the CD that you're talking about right now is what makes it so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
with the late David
Forbes Roberts, the writer, said that what it does is it shows quite possibly some of Lenny's evolution and how it turned out the way it did, and mine, and how when you finally hear 3, you can say, wow, they really got it together.
For sure.
And yet we still retained and maintained a free-form attitude.
Right. And there are
not as free-form as that one.
and there are a couple of standards on the album. I mean, T for 2, which is
yeah, but it was done in such a
a rather lengthy version.
Rather lengthy, rather really outside.
And what other one? There's Surrey with the Fringe on top.
Yeah, which I don't think Lenny knew.
Oh.
I really don't think Lenny knew it. I could tell when I listened to the CD. I could tell by the chord structure. I said to right off the bat, I said, I don't think he knew this one, and so therefore I can understand the way I sing it off the top too. Is I don't sing it. I sing it in a totally different way.
But don't you always?
Yeah, pretty well. But usually we all know the one thing we usually know is the chord structure, but I don't think Lenny knew this one.
Ah, right. Well, this is terrific. We're going to play some stuff right now from the album.
Okay.
And we've been talking to the one and only, and I repeat, the one and only Don Francks. I mean, there's nobody like Don Francks.
Nobody in the world like Rob Fogle.
I thank you, sir.
Okay, have a beautiful night, and thank you to all your fans, and fans are thanking you back.
Thanks, Don.
Okay.